Orjen, Montenegrin Cyrillic, pronounced rjɛn, is transboundary Dinaric Mediterranean limestone mountain range that stretches cca 25 kilometers between Montenegro and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Its highest peak is Zubački kabao, which stands at 1,894 meters, 6,225 feet. The Orjen Peak is the highest peak in the Sub-Adriatic Dinarides. The massif of Orjen lies east to southeast of Trebinje in Bosnia and Herzegovina and northwest of Risan in Bay of Kotor, Boka Kotorska, from the town of Risan, situated at the innermost protected part of the bay. A well-engineered road, at first metalled, with many hairpin bends, climbs to about 1,600 meters over to the interior. At the main summit of Orjen and the surrounding ridges and high plateaus, the action of quaternary glaciation is evident. During the Ice Age, long valley glaciers receded from Orjen to the Bay of Kotor and surrounding poljes, hollowing U-shaped valleys and cirques in their course. Glaciers also shaped jagged peaks and ridges. Glacial and karst-type relief combine now in a unique coastal scenery. There are few places elsewhere in the Mediterranean which demonstrate similar phenomena. The natural and cultural-historical region of Kotor is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, comprising the territory between Orjen and Lovćen, including all the small towns in the bays of Risan and Kotor with their natural setting. With this privileged natural hub, the Bay of Kotor has been settled for millennia. Illyrians and Greeks colonized the coast from 400 BC and established today's ports Risan, Risan, and Kotor. Due to lack of potable water, the high mountain was never densely populated. Snow patches collected from deep pit holes were used even late in the 20th century to provide the few hamlets with water. Today, wells are used instead. Geography. Mount Orjen is a block mountain lifted up as a horst and thus towering above the lowered Bay of Kotor and the high karst plateau surrounding the Mount Orjen horst, with 1,894 meters difference between the lowest and the highest point. Relief energy has a great role in the extremely harsh environment. A hyperkarstic barren landscape of vast carron fields contrasts with very species-rich vegetation types, ranging from evergreen deciduous forests at lower altitudes to endemic calcareous Dinaric fir and pine forests in higher altitudes. Precipitation reaches 5,000 L per square meter, amounts typical for tropical rainforests to the eastern Himalayas than the dry Mediterranean. Lying at Europe's wettest coast, snow easily accumulates on karstic plateau, and as late as June the small snow patches continue to lie in shaded places under the summits. Skiing is possible, but no relevant infrastructures exist today. Orjen is a more important hiking destination. 3 mountain huts provide basic accommodation. Orjen comprises transboundary area of about 400 square kilometers between Bosnia and Herzegovina and Montenegro, and runs for 25 kilometers from region around Trebinje in Bosnia and Herzegovina in the northwest to Bay of Kotor in Montenegro in the southeast. Mount Orjen is composed of 4 high karstic plateaux divided by ridges. 3 near-parallel ridges collide in Zubački kabao, Orjen's culmination point. The ridges are arranged by elevation, with the highest to the north screening the Bijela Gora plateau from the Mediterranean coast. The separated plateau are the Krivosija to the east, Bijela Gora to the north, and Dobri Du and Vibanj to the west. Only few settlements are scattered in surrounding poljes. The poljes of Grahovo, Dragulj, Vibanj, Krušvica and Grabolj are important for agricultural use and provide the only lines of communication in the karst. Migration circled around Mount Orjen as a major obstacle between the coastal Herzegovian Risan and the interior towns of Grahovo, Trebinje and Nikšić. Several dry river valleys are found on Orjen. Only in decades they react as short-living rivers when heavy rain and snow melt combine. Flooding can be a problem and several poljes are renowned for the long inundation periods. Glacial traces. Mediterranean mountains bear no glaciers anymore except small snowfields in some shaded cirques of the Taurus range. Even during the Pleistocene, snow lines were not much lower as in today's Alps. Glaciers were only of local significance in the Mediterranean, enabling frost-sensitive vegetation types to survive the climate changes of the quaternary. Among the once glaciated Mediterranean mountains, Orjen was outstanding for one of the biggest ice cap in the region. A 150 square kilometers covered one-third of the area. All part above 900 meters were buried under a thick sheet of ice from where several glacial tongues descended to 500 meters above sea level. Traces of glacial activity are evident in any part of Orjen as in the Bijela Plateau. No glacial lakes survive today as they were extinguished due to the porosity of the karstified landscape. Many cirques, U-shaped valleys and moraines and jagged ridges and summits bear the evidence of the glacial erosion. In Stone Age and Bronze Age, humans settled in the Orjen region. This early human activity is depicted by rock paintings of deer hunt and humans in Lipci and Risan Bay. A major Bronze Age excavation site is at Popovo Polje to the north of Mount Orjen. Karst. Mount Orjen is built up from pure Cretaceous limestone. As precipitation and temperatures are high and vegetation is abundant, karstification processes are evolved. Lapis, sinkholes and caves result from the solution of the limestone. The solution process is the faster the more water is available for solution. Vegetation and soil formation play also a role in the process. A major disadvantage is that the water is percolating fast in the porous rocks and does not form brooks and rivers despite the heavy amounts of precipitation. An overall dryness is characteristic that is unsuitable for settling. Thus the region has been depopulated for a long time. Only during times of repression the unfavorable high mountains were mainly populated by Montenegrin tribes. During the time of the Ottoman rule from the 15th to the 19th century, the high caste was acting as main shelter for the Christian population. Military campaigns of Turks and Austro-Hungarians faced heavy losses while both great powers underestimated the difficulties to undertake successful raids in caste areas. The Battle of Vučedar between Montenegrins and Turks and the Krivosija uprising in 1869 showed that the Montenegrins used the natural conditions in their favor. Karst is also a major tourist attraction as caves are frequent and peculiar geomorphological forms can be studied. Karst vegetation, on the other hand, is species-rich and major karst areas are hotspots of biodiversity. The both famous Southeast Asian karst areas like the Gilan Tower karst region in southern China, or Phuket Island in Thailand, and the Mediterranean Dinaric karst areas with the Plitvice lakes in Croatia and the Bay of Kotor in Montenegro rival with spectacularity. Geology. Tectonically, the area of the southern Adriatic is very active as the frequency of earthquakes indicates. As the Adriatic plate subduces under the Dinarides, earthquakes can have devastating energy. Sometimes even tsunamis are observed. Mount Orjen is completely built of folded Cretaceous limestones which belongs to the high karst zone geological unit. The high karst zone has the greatest extent in the territory of Montenegro. The terrain of this geotectonic unit is mainly built up of Mesozoic, Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous. Limestones and dolomites of several kilometers of thickness. This thickness is even larger due to the reverse faulting and overthrusting and thus repeating of carbonate series. The karst of this region is characterized by all surface occurrences and all processes characteristic for holocaust, such as karst plain, polje, uvala, sinkhole, dry, hanging, blind and karstified valley, lapis, canyon, shaft, cave, resurgence, vrulia, estival and so on. The karstification of limestones and dolomites in this area is below the base level of erosion, below the sea level, and is deeper than 1,000 meters. The high karst zone has all the prominent characteristics of fluvial erosion. Deep canyons of Kamanica and Maraca rivers with their tributaries. Glacial erosion on Mount Orjen, lacustrine, sea and combined erosion along the internal belt of Bay of Kotor. From Orange, across Risan to Kotor, the high karst zone is in direct contact with the sea, as the high karst zone overthrusts the Pindus Kirkali zone where Mount Orjen rises from the Bay of Risan. The direct contact of the Adriatic Sea and the high karst zone leads to interesting hydrological phenomena. In these terrains, the largest vrulia on the Adriatic coast, called Sopot, is located. The vast differences in water-yielding capacity of the constant and periodic karst springs point out to the strong karstification of high karst zone limestones and dolomites on Mount Orjen. The difference between minimal and maximal water-yielding capacity is over 350 cubic meters. Climate. Orjen is within the Mediterranean subtropical belt. While summers are hot and sunny, autumn, winter and spring are rainy seasons. It is the climate type of the Mediterranean, but modifications exist in the vast region. A peculiarity of the littoral Dinarides is the precipitation regime, as Orjen receives Europe's most heavy precipitation. Like the monsoon, rain is seasonally distributed. Thus, November thunderstorms sometimes pour 2,000 L of water in several days, while August is frequently completely dry, leading to forest fires. With a maximum discharge of 200 cubic meters per second water, one of the biggest karst springs, the Sopot spring, is a remarkable indicator of this seasonality. Most of the time it is inactive, but after heavy rain a remarkable waterfall appears 20 meters above the Bay of Kotor. * classification scheme after Köppen. Two wind systems are noteworthy for their ecological significance. Bora and Sirocco. Strong cold downslope winds of Bora type appear in winter and are most severe in the Bay of Risan. Gusts reach 250 km per hour and can lead to a significant fall of temperatures in several hours, with freezing events problematic for most of the Mediterranean cultures. Bora weather situations are frequent and sailors keep an eye on the mountains as cap clouds indicate an imminent Bora event. Sirocco is a warm humid rain and is important as it brings heavy rain. It appears throughout the year, but is usually centered in autumn and spring. * monthly and yearly precipitation ranges in Dalmatia, Herzegovina and Montenegro. Biology. Habitats. Mostly limestone rocks, but also moraines and screes. Coastal cliffs are present at all parts of the Bay of Kotor. Many forest types can be seen, of which Mediterranean deciduous evergreen don't play a significant role. Dinaric calcareous fir forests are found in several grooves on the Bigela Gora but are difficult to reach. Bosnian pine forests are quite widespread on all major ridges. Virgin woodlands still exist, mainly beech forests. Vegetation. Notes. The vegetation profile on Mount Orjen shows the Mediterranean zones, which vary from alpine mountain zones. The few plant names are just examples of the plants belonging to the biotope communities. An example of a complete biotope plant list. Oreo Herzogio Abiotetum Illyrici Fuck. Dinaric calcareous block fir forest #plant list. Genus Cesleria. Belongs to subfamily Puoideae, of the true grass family Poaceae. Across Orjen vegetation varies with climate and altitude. While the Sub-Adriatic range exhibits evergreen deciduous forests, the vegetation graduates to temperate forests, conifers and tundra in the northern and upper regions. The ridges also have a variety of Mediterranean alpine vegetation, Euro-Mediterranean pastures. The typical karst country with bare limestone rocks interspersed with patches of wood is found. On lower altitudes, white oak, hop hornbeam and Montpellier maple, or the characteristic scrub of the marquis shrubland and garrigue are notable. There are stony meadows in the sunken delina of the karst that contrast vividly with the stony slopes and rocky scrubland all round. Higher altitudes are characterized by heavy beech forest with occasional open grassy pastures. On northern branches silver fir accompanies beech. Above the beech and fir beech forests are scattered open stands of pure Dinaric calcareous silver fir forests and Bosnian pine with deep purple young cones set among stiff light green needles. Open stony screes and rocks are exposed to the jagged ridges and summits. They are very rich in species. Flora is of Balkan type with many Illyrian and Balkan endemics. Notable is local endemism with 10 endemics restricted to Mount Orjen. Gallery. Conservation. A national park was planned for a long time on Orjen. The disintegration of Yugoslavia, civil war and standstill of tourism cancelled plans. Today plans are rejuvenated but funding may be a problem. UNESCO declared the natural and cultural-historical region of Kotor a World Heritage Site. The part of Orjen within the boundaries of this site is namely the Kravosia Plateau. A further evaluation of the patrimony and nomination of a greater part of Orjen as national park has good reasons. Unique flora, fauna and relief certainly require a protection plan by administrative action. History. The earliest historic confirmations are the Lipche rock paintings which are dated in the Bronze Age. The first historic significant events are connected with the Illyrians when Queen Tuta reigned approximately from 231 BC to 228 BC, chose Risan as her capital during her war against the Romans. The Greek also colonized the region and eventually the Romans took over. The classical name of the Bay of Kotor is after Risan. Risan. Sinus Rizonicus. Eventually Kotor was becoming more important during the Middle Ages. People. Only few traditional shepherds live today on Orjen. Mostly remain on the northern side of the Bijela Gora. They have their local songs describing life on the remote mountain, and every year in July a great feast takes place when all the shepherds from Bijela Gora come together to sing, dance and eat on a pasture at Ledenuk. Livestock is mostly sheep but also horses and few cattle are held at Orjen saddle oxen graze. In former times nomadic migration took place between the Poljes and the higher regions of Orjen. The traditional housing on Orjen is the so-called koliba, small limestone huts with roofs built of pine bark. Only few hamlets are inhabited, mostly closed to the coast. The higher up the stronger the push factors acted to leave. Tribes on Orjen were once renowned for their wildness and still people from the coast have this notion towards the mountain tribes. Activities. Glacial and karst features compose a unique landscape that is attracting visitors also from abroad. Backpacking and alpine recreation are important factors for the development of the Orjen region. 3 mountain huts are established and enthusiasts keep winter sports alive. Hiking. Trails are maintained by the PSD Subra Mountaineering Association from Herceg Novi. Most trails are around the huts at Vratlo, 1,160 meters, and Orjen Ridge, 1,594 meters. 40 kilometers of marked trails exist in the Mount Orjen region, leading to the most attractive destinations. Marked trails start at the city bus station at Herceg-Novi, 30 meters, and led to the Vratlo hut, 1,160 meters. Hiking in other more remote parts is also possible, but no marcation currently exists. Visitors of Bijela Gora Dobri can use several local forest roads. Sometimes shepherds can offer night accommodation. Water is only available at some places. Shepherd villages usually use rain collectors. Most hikers tend to visit Subra, 1,680 meters, or Zubački kabao, 1,894 meters. Both are well marked. Brown bears appear in the Bijela Gora and should not be disturbed as the population is critically endangered. Every year around mid-May a half-marathon called Orjen Marathon is organized by the PSD Subra Alpine organization. Guests are welcomed to take part in the traditional manifestation. Climbing. Several interesting alpine-like climbing possibilities like rock climbing exist. Most remarkable is the 500 meters wall of the Subra Amphitheatre. In last few years the alpine speleo section A.S.O.S. of PSD Subra started to climb routes on Mount Orjen. Good climbing routes are only 10 minutes walk from the Vratlo mountain hut. Other good climbing routes are in Subra's Amphitheatre and Rio Vaca Grada rocks. Mount Orjen gives a lot opportunities for climbing unclimbed routes with various difficulties. A training rock near to the Herceg-Novi, Trebinje road called Silobod, 250 meters, is in use. Summer activities. Backpacking, between late spring and early fall. All overnight trips into the backcountry require sufficient water supplies due to limited water sources available. Bicycling, mountain biking is possible throughout Mount Orjen and local roads are well suited for cycling. Swimming, Orjen is located near the Bay of Kotor on the Adriatic coast. Orjen Marathon, annual sport event with several possible tracks, starting from the Vratlo mountain hut towards Subra, 1,679 meters, and Zubački kabao, 1,894 meters. Peaks. Winter activities. Much of Mount Orjen is inaccessible due to heavy snow in winter. However, Orjen Saddle 1,594 meters can be reached in winter from Vrbanj. Skiing. The only skiing area is around Orjen Saddle opens in winter. No lifts and equipment are provided at the mountain hut. Hunting. Hunters are generally welcome. Official permits are required. Pavla Sikovac. Sociology and Ecology of Silver Fir Forest on Mt. Orjen, Montenegro. LMU Munich. 2002. Department of Geography. Further reading. Goran Z. Kamar. Planinska Sela Dračević a Podvlasku Venekia. 1687 to 1797. 1997.